of larger-than-life heroes, where every villain is just a page away, the realm of comic books has captivated countless generations. Join us on this extended journey through the pages of history as we unravel the fascinating tale of comics, a frontier that goes beyond ink and paper. Comics started off with a bang, multiple superheroes that are still in use in today's society that inspire millions of children worldwide. The central claim of our historical argument is that comic books mark a momentous historical turning point by actively advancing societal progress. In addition to being enjoyable reads, comics support early literacy, symbolizing diversity, and even help shape American mythology. Our topic's historical significance lies in its ability to provide a comprehensive overview of how comics have shaped modern society.
Our story begins in the golden age of comics, a time when superheroes soared into the imaginations of readers. Superman, Batman, Captain America, Wonder Woman, and a host of others emerged in the pages of Action Comics, marking the birth of an era that would redefine storytelling. With the bright future right in front of comics, a mutually agreed code among comic makers that was meant to cripple comics had risen. That code was the Code of Silence.
With progress came resistance. A code of silence gripped the industry, stifling creativity and raising concerns about the impact of comics on young minds. The comics industry faced a turning point as it responded to an angry public and the looming threat of government regulation. In a strategic move, the Comic Magazine Association of America instituted the Comics Code Authority, a censorship code that sanitized the content of comics for years to come. Titles like Crime Does Not Pay and suspense comics that showcase brutal criminal activities were restrained. Horror comics such as EC Comics' Tale from the Crypt and Vault of Horror that were known for their gory storytelling and violence were also taken down. But it doesn't end there. Drug themes, Green Lantern series in 1940s that featured a story where the hero battled against an evil drug trafficker named Harley Quinn were majorly impacted. Nudity, examples of work artists like Robert Crumb, whose creations sometimes included nudity and explicit content, were completely removed out of the system. Socially conscious comics like Judgment Day from EC Comics that tackled racial prejudice and was considered controversial for its time were majorly affected.
The code, however, had one man behind it all. The one caused controversy on comics, the one that led people to boycott comics, the one that forced comic makers' hand by offering them either them going out of business or they created and comply with a new pair of rules, shutting down much of the freedom comics had to say whatever they wished. The name of that man is Frederick Wertham.
Sir Frederick Wertham and his controversial work, Seduction of the Innocent. This publication cast a dark shadow over the innocence of comics, challenging their influence on the youth. Frederick Wertham continued his onslaught of comics' reputation after already having a big part in the code. He also wrote a book directly speaking against comics, and thanks to him, all comics that were left standing were the ones that complied with the infamous code. The fallout from Wertham's claims extended beyond the pages, leading to the public outrage and even organized comic public burnings. It was a time of uncertainty for the industry that had once thrived on creativity. Yet with all this weighing down on comic creators, a beacon of hope shone from far away.
Although all was grim, Stan Lee defied all odds. He, a regular comic maker, was working on a new and upcoming series of comics, which are known simply as Marvel Comics. Yet he regularly complied with the code until one fateful day where he found out his latest Spider-Man comic had failed the test due to his inclusion of drugs in the comic. Stan Lee, furious at this, claimed it was discouraging drug abuse, but the Comics Code Authority, the people who were in charge of keeping the regulations, did not care. They simply said for him to not release it. But as said before, they had no control on what is released, only on what will usually be on shelves in stores. But Stan Lee, despite the very real possibility that his comic would go unbought due to lacking the seal of approval, published it anyways, and as its takeoff, the Comics Code Authority decided to change the rules, which was quite a rare occurrence, into fitting exactly what Stan Lee has wrote. Stan Lee also created a superhero named Black Panther, which later inspired a violent party named the Black Panther Party, which may have tarnished the comic name.
Marvel introduced Black Panther, a superhero not just in a costume, but a symbol of hope and justice, a frontier in the ongoing struggle for civil rights, representing them in real life and in paper. Beyond the comic book pages, Black Panther became a cultural icon, challenging stereotypes and breaking barriers. It was a testament to the power of comics to shape perceptions and inspire change. It was only fitting for a party fighting for their rights were to use the Black Panther name, which was created only a few months from Black Panther debut. They were against police brutality, however. Instead of peaceful protest, they resorted to violence, tarnishing comics' image that they were already working on so hard to restore.
In the midst of this turbulence, the Black Panther Party emerged, named after the iconic Marvel superhero. They fought for civil rights in a way that stirred controversy and left a lasting impact on the comic book landscape. The Black Panther character, initially a symbol of empowerment, became entwined with the political activism of the Black Panther Party. It was a moment when fiction and reality collided in the pages of comic books. Many years pass, with the Comics Code Authority, otherwise referred to as the CCA, has started to fade away, as all past things do. But a relatively new comic maker took a new idea and wrote his father's experience in a time where many simple things are near impossible to get, such as food, and made his comic able to teach most students without being too bored.
As the decades unfold, comics found their way into classrooms. Art Spiegelman's Moss broke new ground using the graphic novel format to impart crucial historical lessons to young minds. Teachers also saw comics in a new light, starting to rethink banning all comics in classrooms. Teachers recognized the educational potential of comics, integrating them into the curriculum to engage students in a way that traditional textbooks couldn't. Comics also evolved into many more things beyond just paper. They evolved into games and movies, which is surprising due to their humble beginnings and hardships. And even companies that have been since the beginning adapted and released some of the most watched and current movies.
Fast forward to the 21st century, where comics leaped off the pages onto the silver screen. The annual pilgrimage of fans at Comic-Con became a testament to the cultural phenomenon that comics had become. The comics enthusiasts did not just stop to watching movies, but also held massive plays and conventions. The cinematic universe expanded, bringing beloved characters to life and creating a vibrant community of fans who celebrated their love for comics through elaborate cosplays and conventions. As we come closer to the present of comics, what have they really affected?
And so, our journey comes full circle. What started as a simple suggestion opened our eyes to the profound impact of comics on history, a frontier that we as students had the privilege to explore. Delving into the rich tapestry of comics, we discovered a world that transcends entertainment, a world that mirrors societal changes, challenges norms, and encourages critical thinking.
In the end, we've learned that comics books are not just ink on paper. They are a dynamic force, a frontier that continues to inspire and shape the narratives of our lives. As we conclude this extended journey throughout the pages of history, we extend our gratitude to the creators, the artists, and the heroes who've made comics an integral part of our cultural tapestry.